feel like as soon as I announced my commitment to like fans at West Virginia, like there's no other place I'd rather be. Just the fans have been so supportive and have been reaching out, and just I already love West Virginia. When I was day 2 of my visit, I grabbed wristbands and threw them all on before I did, just knowing that this was the place for me. And
he's back, baby. Kannon Katzer is back.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia, baby, where we're talking about the Mountaineers on the football side of things again today, baby. And here it is, right? Kannon Katzer is back. He's been cleared. We're going to talk about it. What does he mean to the squad? What does he mean to West Virginia right now with the state of the running back room? We got to talk about it because I think it's important. So we're going to go there. Obviously, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Utah fans, man. I've gotten some pretty harsh. Last week they went after Chris Level from Locked On Texas Tech. He got the last laugh, and it was really bad. They went after him bad last week to the point of it was just really bad. So we're going to talk about that, because I think Utah fans can do better. And we're going to talk about more keys to the game as well. I hope you enjoy being here, guys, as we dive into another episode. And this episode is going to be brought to you by Mazda. Right? That's right, Mazda. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. So stay tuned for later for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward with Mazda. Move and be moved. Kannon Katzer, man. I've been a big fan of his for a while. As you guys know, when he committed to West Virginia, I signed him up for an interview. And here's some of the things he had to say about West Virginia outside of what I played in the beginning.
And I know people could, say like, oh, you may not be loyal, but really this whole time I've been, just trying to find my last home. And like you said,
right.
It's been like a ladder, from JUCO to D2 to here now. So, this West Virginia has been my end goal since, I was a little kid playing football. So, they could say I'm not going to be loyal or anything like that, but
it was only like one or two people. It's not like it wasn't a whole bunch of people. So, Kannon Katzer is somebody that has wanted to be here since he was a kid. You just heard him say it. And I can't overstate how important that is, right? Especially right now when things are kind of hard. So, if you're not familiar with his game, Kannon Katzer has a teammate right now that played alongside him in the offense at Ferris State. That's could be a Heisman contender at quarterback for Ole Miss right now in Trinidad Chambliss, who I showed you guys the other day, our messages, mine and Chambliss's messages. He did want to play for West Virginia. Unfortunately, Ole Miss got him because he was out there for so long that I was shocked it took months for somebody to finally pick him up. And I mean, obviously he was coming from D2, so that's probably some of the reason why. But when you turned on the film about Chambliss, you could just tell he was different. Same thing with Kannon Katzer. I think he is a very good player. I don't know what he's going to do for us this week. I don't know how quickly he can get back into the rotation. I don't know how quickly he can get healthy. I mean, he's healthy. He's healthy enough to play now. But, I mean, as far as from the kind of stamina that's needed to play running back in this offense and that type of thing, I don't know the impact, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. But if he's fully back and he's able to carry the rock, 10 or 15 times, he can make an impact. He is a really good football player, guys. We're going to look at some highlights from him, obviously, because I'm a big fan, as you guys know, of Katzer. So what we'll do now is jump over to his page over on X, and I want to show you guys a couple of things he does well, because I think a lot of you guys haven't watched in a little while, and then even if you have, you probably haven't or don't remember some of the stuff he did when he was at Ferris. And Chambliss has proven now that you can come up from D2 and play well, as others have. If you want to look at what he did at Ferris State, he averaged 9 yards a carry and 11 touchdowns and over 1,000 rushing yards. And they were really good. So that's part of it. As you can see, they were 12-1. But I want to show you a couple things he does well here on tape. He's a one cut back, but he has wiggle. He's a 4-4, 4-5 guy, and he explodes through holes, which is very important. He's not the biggest guy, but an extremely physical runner. He really runs through tackles well. And as you guys saw in the offseason, I beat the table for him quite often. I get it. People are going to mention our offensive line, our offensive line, our offensive line. I get it. Just like Ty Edwards against Pitt, I believe Kannon Katzer is the kind of player that's going to make the first guy miss or break the first tackle, and it's going to get some yards unless he's just hitting the backfield, which is possible. I mean, that could happen, but let's just break down what he does well and why I think he can help this offense. So as you can see, he plays in a super similar offense. He's used to this offense. This is basically the offense that we run at West Virginia, right? Motion in and out. We got a receiver coming across the formation, and then you've got a quarterback read option here, obviously RPO style play. So here he is. He gets the ball. This is a dive play. You've got the defensive end who's frozen because of the quarterback, and watch him make the first guy miss almost always. As you can see here, he's quick. Now here's a free backer. Watch what he does. Boom, makes him miss. And then he's just got great speed. He pulls away. He runs through arm tackles easily, and he's a much stronger runner than people give him credit for. And by the way, I can go back and show you his Washington State highlights if you'd like. He even did this at Washington State when he was a walk-on. So, he's proven he can do this. And as you see here, he's running through splitting safeties down the middle of the field in the snow. 1, 2, the referee to the sideline. Great vision, hurdles over somebody and scores. You see the vision here, and he's just got the great explosion and acceleration that you need at that spot. So this is a perfect example of what I like about his game here. So how do you set up blocks? Well, here he runs into the defensive tackles into the backfield, right? He just bounces it. He cuts it, bounces it. This linebacker has to make a decision. He chooses the inside route. He could have went outside, and maybe the backer meets him there, but the backer doesn't know, so he's trying to play both sides. And Katzer just cuts it up in there and beats him. A lot of in the snow, I mean, obviously nothing's better for a run game than the snow. So here's a great example of why I think this is the kind of things he can do for us right now. This is not, I mean, you look at the right guard, he gets beat here, right? Right to the hole. I mean, this is just straight up beat to the hole. Defensive ends crashing down. This should be at a no gain or for a loss at the very least. And as you can see, he's got a guy on him. He's got a guy at his feet. He should go down, but no, he breaks through the tackle and pops out, right? Because he's strong. If you look at the thumbnail on this video, or I can probably even show you the picture of it. I don't know if I have it. Let's see if I have it on here. No, I don't have it on here, but his thighs are enormous. I mean, they're huge, man. Let me see if I can find them on here really quick, because let's see, because there's a couple on here, there's a couple pictures on here. There's one specifically, though, that shows his thighs. It's like, holy cow, they're massive. Like, there's no wonder he runs through tackles like he does. Yeah, here it is. So I'll share back to this screen in a second, but look at this picture of Kannon Katzer's thighs, man. Like, this dude has got some monster thighs. Like, let me just take a screenshot of that, and then I'll put it up in on the screen so you can see it a little bit more clearly, because it'll kind of emphasize what I'm saying here. Okay. So obviously I think this is something he's going to be able to do for West Virginia that maybe we don't have a whole lot of, but look at the thighs on this kid. He's not a massive human being by any stretch, but he's a tough, physical runner for his size. I mean, we've seen Jaheim White break through tackles. He's about Jaheim's size. maybe a little taller. I'm not sure. But I mean, those they almost look like they're fake thighs, And talking to him in the offseason, he squats, I think, well over 400 or 500 pounds. Like, he's a strong dude, and he runs that 4.4, 4.5 speed. So, he does a lot, and he can receive out of the backfield, as you see here, and breaks tackles. He's just hard to tackle. So I think he comes along at a time when we really need him. Now, I don't know how ready he is to play. Here he is coming out of motion in the backfield. This is a play they drew up for him on a wheel route. Perfectly thrown ball, by the way, by Chambliss, who just breaks my heart that we couldn't get Chambliss. But it wouldn't have mattered behind the O-line. I get that. But yeah, so this is a big pickup for West Virginia as far as this late into the season. You get a back like this back. Like, here's another great example of what I love about Katzer. He's in the backfield, takes the handoff. He's just a one-cut running back. There's one arm tackle, breaks through. There's two arm tackles where he just slaps the guy to the side. And you got to think he's going to be like Ty Edwards when he gets his first couple carries, like Ty Edwards was against Pitt, where he's just like, holy cow, this dude's running on air right now. Like, Ty Edwards was running so hard against Pitt. It was so obvious. And you can see here another thing Katzer's really good at is he's good at making one lateral juke or one lateral cut to avoid different stuff. Watch the jukes here. Boom, one. Boom, two. Right? And he's able to get guys reaching like this to where he's able to just get upfield on them like that, man. And he's really good with the vision. So let's just keep an eye on this development. It may not seem like to national audiences, to maybe even casual West Virginia fans, this may not seem like a big deal. I'm calling it. I think it is a big deal for just anything, if not for anything else, because we needed an extra running back in the backfield this week. I mean, what do we have? Clay Ash, and then if Ty Edwards couldn't go, since their Bowers may not be able to go, like, it's getting really thin back there. You're basically down to, if those two are out, you were down to, Dior Hubbard, this guy, and Clay Ash, so you really need him to be healthy just for the hopes that you have an extra running back there, because you're getting into Cam Vaughn or Rodney Gallagher territory then at running back, or whoever they have labeled as the emergency running back, which is pretty wild. So, but yeah, as you see here on tape, Kannon is an excellent player. I think he's much better than people give him credit for, and he can block. That's another thing. He can block. Actually, I think he showed on this play. He's a willing blocker. Here, watch him right here. Boom, right? He straight up engages with the linebacker and holds his own a little bit. Now, is he going to be able to stand back there and block an elite pass rusher? No, he's not. But can he throw his body into him? Yes, he can. I think he can. So we'll just have to make note of this. Obviously, he's going to be an interesting player to watch tonight and going forward. And look here too, if we go all the way back in his profile to Washington State days, I think there might even be, here he's at Washington State making some plays. So this is against Colorado State. Here he is in the Crimson and Gray game against Washington State's Division I defense, obviously Power 4 defense. When this was, this is Crimson and Gray game. This is against their defense, starting defense most likely, since he was a walk-on. Here he is bouncing it up. So you can see, like, he's got some ability against Power 4 talent. So it's not like he has a great example right there. This is what I'm talking about. So this is exactly what – it's crazy. His quarterback was Cam Ward right here. So he's probably like, what in the hell? Where'd Cam Ward go? But anyway, this is him against Colorado State, a Division I team. Maybe not an incredible one, but a Division I team nonetheless. And as you can see, he's got the capability to make those kind of guys miss in the hole. Boom, right here. There's nothing here, but there's something up here. So he makes one cut, two cuts, makes this guy miss, breaks the tackle, and that's what makes him valuable to us right now. I think it's the kind of player we need, guys. So keep your eye on it. We'll see how it looks going forward. I'm certainly monitoring it, and hopefully you will too, because Cannon's as I showed you guys, I'm a big fan of Katzer. Big fan. So I think somebody asking about Andre Devine in the chat. I want to be very brutally honest about this. I don't personally believe he is a power forward football player. Maybe he develops into one, and I'm sure if Noah Devine ever sees this, he'll hate me forever. But my personal opinion, I mean, you go watch his high school tape, I didn't even think he deserved a walk-on chance. So I'm glad he got it and all that. I mean, he's got some speed, I think, to him, but yeah, I'm not a huge big. That's like the same word, but anyways, I'm not a big Andre Devine person myself. So, all right, we'll be right back, guys. I want to talk about this Utah fans, man. They're really coming after me hard. Like I'm talking about hundreds of comments. We'll talk about it next. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by our friends over at DoorDash. Right now with DoorDash, it's time to find out who delivered this weekend. It's looking back and crowning this week's MVP with Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order, these players delivered when it mattered most. Let's break it down. For West Virginia, I've got to go Fred Perry, who delivers in a big way every single week. He makes stop after stop after stop, and because Jalen Daniels wanted to slide late, he hit him in the head. Well, we're so lucky to have him back this week because when the pressure is on, Fred Perry always comes through, no hesitation and no delay. And if you've been watching week after week, this performance wasn't a fluke. Fred Perry is on a streak. And just like Fred Perry can deliver for West Virginia, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays with DoorDash Streaks. You save every Saturday you order, stack it up all season, and you can save $250 and $100 in credits from DoorDash if you order Saturday. Keep the streak alive, fuel your game day, and only with DoorDash where the terms apply. Promo code through November 18th. All right, guys, I appreciate you for being here as always. And this one's always going to be brought to you by FanDuel. We love FanDuel around here as the NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and make you holler with a great lineup. If your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it makes it quick, easy, and it's the best way to get a little more energy to your Sundays. So if you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. All right, guys, we are back here Locked On West Virginia. It's segment 2. We're going to crack a do in the name of Kannon Katzer, who absolutely deserves to play ball this week. Hope you get to play some ball this week. By the way, sources, like I said, I don't think that's been announced. He wasn't on the injury report this week, but I was told by somebody that would know that he's cleared. So, all right. Utah fans have roasted me this last couple of days, man. I played a clip. I'm sure you guys have probably seen it, but I'm going to play it for you one more time. Let me get to my X account here. So I played a clip yesterday and it got shared. Let me find it. Let's see. In my replies, I guess it would be. Yeah, here it is. Last week against Texas Tech, which is really bad. They had 2 fumbles, 2 picks. They've had a slow start in multiple games this year, including in Laramie at Wyoming. If you think that stadium's tough, wait till you get to Morgantown. And West Virginia fields a really good defense. Now, Utah fields a better defense probably, and West Virginia's offense has been subpar to say the least, and that's putting it nicely this year so far. But if Jalen Henderson can break out like I think he can, and Ty Edwards plays this week, you're talking about a different style of offense. It's going to be what West Virginia's always ran. It's going to be that fast-paced, up-tempo QB run game style ball that we've all been hoping to see under Rich Rodriguez up until now. Don't give up on the Mountaineers. Don't give up on West Virginia. Don't give up on Rich Rodriguez. Utah's coming to town. Let's kick their ass back out of town. They think they're kings of the Big 12. Let's make them prove it. They only scored 10 points against Texas Tech. They haven't been unbeatable this year. So that got shared out. and
They had
so the Utah fans have come in force.
Tubby,
obviously people making comments about hillbillies, people saying that we F our cousins, name it, it's been said. And if you look back to last week with Chris Level, who, he really didn't deserve some of the things that were said about him last week either. And if you're not sure who Chris Level is just an elite play-by-play guy for Texas Tech. He's a publisher at Red Raider Sports on 3. He's a radio analyst for Texas Tech football, TV and radio. He's an elite guy. He's the host of the Joey McGuire show. Like, he works for Locked On. We're lucky to have him. He's one of the most respected voices in media. And let me just be honest, man. Texas Tech earned the right to talk smack last week, right? But Chris Level really got punished by them last week, and it was really ugly to see. I'm glad he got the last laugh. I'm trying to find I don't see it. But man, it's got to be right here somewhere. But anyways, they really, really went after him, man. It was bad, like to a point to where it was like trending. So obviously I'm not, I'm not here to say, here we go. Here's these people shooting things at Chris Level. I think this is where it started.
Talking and like loud, we have to bring that energy to it.
Did you see that reporter?
Yeah.
The disrespect of that reporter, mispronouncing Bryce Eccles, saying it's going to be a neutral side. I'm not impressed. Screw that guy.
Well, for heaven's sakes, he said it on Locked On Big.
I know. I understand.
Two
it's
losers
talking to each other.
talking.
So obviously they hate being in the Big 12. It's no surprise, right? I reached out to them before I saw this clip and I asked them to be on my show and to interact with them. They were nice, but I don't condone them talk. It's not really, this here wasn't bad, but this sparked a lot of bad things towards Chris. And I just want to say, man, Utah fans, can you not be better? Why does everything have to be so bad? Like it's they hate being in the Big 12. I get it. But like, you guys were in the group of 5, 12 years ago, 10 years? I don't even know. I just don't see where it's like they've grown way too big for their britches in a very short amount of time. I don't know. It's just frustrating for me because one of them came after Jackson Johnson, who you guys know I'm a big fan of. If you don't know, I'll show you what somebody said. I actually posted something about it, and then we'll move on because I just, the comment about Jackson was really bad, and I'm going to tell you right now. He said, "You're losing your credibility. Jackson is probably a good guy, but it's not an addition to your show. Maybe appealing a small subset to your loyal fan base, but embarrassing West Virginia fans. He speaks in 3 to 4 word sentences at a 4th grade level. You even finish the sentences. His insight adds absolutely nothing to your show. How I'm the only one that sees of this opinion. If you don't see this, then you're not up to the same standard as the rest of the Locked On guys." Like I told him, I bring Jackson on the show for a lot of reasons. Number one, he's a young guy, and I want to impart some of my ability onto him if I can. I want to help him, right? Everything doesn't have to be two-way street, right? Like, I don't always have to have this great orator or this great personality to come on that's going to work opposite of me like JT last night or whatever. Jackson, I bring him on because he's genuine. He's learning. He's trying hard. He loves college football. He's a good person. That's why I bring him on. And from what I gather, most everybody likes Jackson. He's positive. He wants West Virginia fans to like him. Like, why question this kid's education? It just really bothered me, man. I don't get it. Like, some people are just mean, I guess. I mean, that's just the way it is. So I will continue to bring Jackson on the show. And I don't think, I guess maybe somebody in Utah can understand that a lot of us grew up around people with fourth grade educations anyway. Not saying Jackson has that, but I mean, Jackson's got a real thick country accent. So people leap to that conclusion. Jackson's not stupid at all. As a matter of fact, he can recall who was on the call for the backyard brawl 20 years ago. Like, he's got that special ability to do that on a savant type level. So, whether Jackson has any other issues or not, I've never talked to him. It's not my business to ask. I don't care either. So that's just that. Sorry to get on the soapbox about it. Let's go to break. We'll come back. I've got some more keys to the game before we get on to a prediction again. We'll be right back. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by our friends over at Mazda. Talking about Mazda, man. This episode is going to be brought to you by Mazda. That's moving the game forward. And for those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, they move culture, and they keep moving the game forward. This week's moment that moved the game forward is, I got to go with Jalen Henderson. Because he came in late in that game against Kansas and put a spark on and showed West Virginia what they could be excited about coming forward if he just gets a couple quarters to do it. So when you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Today with Mazda, move and be moved. And finally, guys, our friends are here to stay. Right? We know that. Fire TV, college football is obviously going to be a thing we talk about as well coming up in a minute. Can't lie about that. But for the most part, guys, keys to the game are here, segment 3. So, there's a few things in this game that bother me. Well, not bother, worry, I guess is a better word. And, I went back and watched the Utah versus Texas Tech game again. Utah's got a really good defense. And that's what scares me the most in this game is even if we have fixed some things, it's going to be tough to move the ball on these guys, man, for us. I think Jalen's going to help, hopefully. But, they showed last week Will Hammond came in and kind of gave West Virginia a little bit of a playbook as to what maybe you could try against Utah, but it's going to be tough. You're going to have to be able to throw the ball this week. That's just a flat out fact. And I shown you guys yesterday that Jalen Henderson can throw it around. He's proven that. So number one key to the game is Jalen Henderson's got to be able to throw the ball. Or whoever plays. Maybe Nico does play. I would not suggest it. But of course, I'm not Rich Rodriguez. And I mean, I'm never going to question Coach Rod, even though I probably will if he plays Nico in this game with a bum foot, then it's just not reality, right? So we have to keep our eyes on that, certainly, and pray that things can be a little better pass protection wise. It had been up until last week. Last week, I felt like Nico didn't have time to throw. Up until then, he had time to throw at times. The running game has not been great. Obviously, we need Ty Edwards back to break that initial line of scrimmage. Whether it's congested or not, we need him to do that. So, obviously it's a simple one, but Rich Rodriguez said it in his show. You have to control the line of scrimmage or at least stalemate the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Utah has 2 All-American tackles. They really do. But they're not unbeatable. As a matter of fact, Texas Tech, LaMelo Height really got after him, man. LaMelo Height really played a great game the other day versus Texas Tech, and he reminds me of Jamori Robinson quite a bit. So if I'm Jamori, I'm focusing exactly on what Height did versus the Utes because he looked really good. Let me see if I can find some of the stuff they posted on it. Yeah, here we go. This is all 22 footage as well, so it's legal to play. This is exciting stuff. So, all right. So this is obviously last week. This is where Jamori Robinson will be lined up right here on the right side, right against this kid here. This is exactly what it's going to look like. And obviously this is their first rounder, I believe. They've got 2 bookends that are just really good. Kind of like when West Virginia had Wyatt Milam and Doug Nestor. I would say it's a similar type deal, right? So just that move right there is sick. So if I'm Jamori, obviously they were chipping to the outside even on him. And then he spun back in and was like, man, what a move. And then he moves to the other side against their tight end, no shot. And look how much speed he covers to get to the quarterback. I mean, it's insane. And then on the other side, you saw they did pretty good in pass pro. But, I mean, Texas Tech was able to get there with just their front 4 or 5 guys for the most part, as you can see. Right here again, this is just the front 4, right? And LaMelo Height's an elite player. I don't think Jamori Robinson's quite this high end, to be honest. Maybe he is, but I didn't see it against Kansas. But, yeah, I mean that's just incredible. Incredible move. And then here he is again, like his hair's on fire. I mean, just making it, he made that play. Here he is again, just almost there all day. So if West Virginia is going to impact this game, this is going to be how, right? You've just got to make Dampier uncomfortable, man. That's an elite move. Oh, my God. What a move, man. Look at this move by Height on the outside here. It's the stutter step and then one of the things that, that makes the mark of an incredible defensive end is the ability to bend. This play here, wow. What a play. And making Dampier get rid of it early. So, we have pass rushers on this team. We do. Can Curtis Jones make a play? Can Jamori make a play? Can Siders make a play? I mean, we've got guys that can pass rush. Now, this isn't a great offensive line, so we'll see. But I think, at the end of the day, West Virginia defensively, I think, can hold us in here. Other than that, though, it's going to be rough going on the other side of the ball until Jalen or whoever can get some momentum going. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, I'm excited about this game because if you win this game, man, you really have some momentum going forward for the rest of the year. And, you go to BYU next week. It's another winnable game. It's another team with a subpar offense and an elite defense. Well, hell, you can play with them kind of teams. It's the teams that have elite offenses like Kansas that really kind of put us at a disadvantage because, our defense gets tired after a while going up these teams that can continuously move the chains. Our defense can only hold out for so long. Well, in this game, you're talking about the first person to 23 might win. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I haven't looked at the over-under in Vegas or anything on it. Let's look at it really quick before we get off here. Let's see. WVU versus Utah over-under is – we'll find out. Let's see. Looking. Spread is 12.5. I saw that. The total is 47.5. This is a pretty big number, a little bit bigger than I expected. I was probably closer to 40. 39.5 would probably be the number I would set it at, but sure, it could go that high. I don't see how West Virginia is going to do their part to get that high, but could I see West Virginia to win in this game 23-20? Yes, I could. Could I see Utah winning this game 34-20? Yeah, I could. So it just depends. We've got to stalemate the line of scrimmage on defense, especially, and hopefully offensively we can get Ty back to break some holes open so we can move the ball. Outside of that, we're gonna have to get a turnover somewhere, and Dampier's shown the propensity to do that. So, there are some things that can happen in this game we can win. They're not unbeatable. Now, I may come back here Saturday evening and say I was totally wrong about them. They're way better than I thought, and we're really bad. Maybe that's something I'll have to accept after this week, but we'll find out. I'm not ready to say that we're just all that bad yet. I think last week was a culmination of we were coming off a hard-fought win over Pitt. Kansas was coming off of a bye, and they were rested. They had time to game plan, and our offense is limited. It was just too much. We had chances at 2 fumbles. We didn't get, so everything just that could have happened for us. It was good, didn't happen. We'll see what happens Saturday. I'm not saying we 100% will win the game, but I'm picking us to win. I believe. Hopefully you do too. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, guys. But it's another big moment for Locked On college football fans, as well as Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff. It's your ultimate college football weekly preview with Drake Toll, Locked On Big 12. It leads the conversation alongside two-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and Locked On's local experts. It's a college football preview only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. I'll see you guys later. I'll be back with Bernie Mac from the Voice of Motown podcast, I believe, here in just a couple hours, around 2:30 or 3. He's a great personality. Hope to see you then.